Hey everyone, Xavier Radix here. I just wanted to come on here and tell you about what I've been doing in the past few months since I released my second album, Floating Thoughts. You can check it in the link below. I've actually been looking back at my earlier music. I used to make kind of electronic, sample-based, loop-based music with Ableton when I used to use Ableton back then. And believe it or not, when I started out, I used Magic's Music Maker. But it goes back to about 2010 till about 2016. And in that time, I made about 6 albums. I never released those videos onto any social platform or YouTube or Bandcamp. So I decided to put them on Bandcamp, actually purely for myself, so I could look back at the old stuff to really see my progression as a producer and a writer, and really see, you know, how far I've become since then. So I released 5 albums on Bandcamp under the name Lucky, which is fun fact, that's actually my gamer tag. So I decided to put the first 2 albums, because I listened to the first 2 albums. I remastered all of the music because the level was just off the charts. You know, I didn't know how to mix and how to master back then, so I was just, you know, winging it, you know, just trying to do my best. And I noticed that the first 2 albums, that a lot of the songs were just not really good, you know, compared to the other tracks on the other albums. Every album sounds really different from each other, so you're not really getting, you know, like a same theme going on through all the albums. I really tried everything, you know. For instance, I have an album called Mutaforma, which is kind of a, you know, it's electronic, yeah, drum and bass. It has kind of a industrial style to it, actually. And so a lot of metal clanking and a lot of, you know, industrial sounds and ambient tones, and a very harsh tone to it. But if you compare it to the last one, which is, you know, my last album that I made that I actually didn't finish, on that album there's a lot of funk. You know, there's some funk, there's some groove. I really started to get into, you know, that stuff. I started to listen more to funk back then, so I just wanted to make more funk tunes. Yeah. But if you compare it to Saturn, which is a totally different concept, I wanted to do something like, you know, one of my biggest synthesizer heroes, Xavier. I wanted to make an album which is divided into parts. So this album is called Saturn, so the songs are called Saturn Part 1, Saturn Part 2, and so on and so on. There's 6 parts on this album, and it's atmospheric. There's no real strict melody. It's a lot of ambient noise. It's kind of noise music at the same time. I really wanted to try something different. So every album sounds different. So there's probably something for everyone here. Like, I want to go back to the first 2 albums, why I didn't release them. I didn't release them because I didn't think they were good enough. So what I decided to do is combine, you know, take the best songs off the first 2 albums. The first one was called Following, and the second one was called Sound Waves. But I combined them into one, and I called it Early Ones, which is kind of a best of 2010 till 2013. And you know, I tried to grab the best songs off of those 2 albums, put them into one compilation album, and I got about 8 tracks off of that. So I won't be uploading any new music to it because I'm not really, this project has been discontinued, you know, because I wanted to move on from this electronic style, this loop-based, sample-based music. I wanted to make real music and play guitar and play drums and play bass and play keyboards and actually play instruments, which I didn't do. Well, there's a few tracks on the albums, like Saturn is really, you know, that's all me playing, you know, and there's a few other tracks on some albums. So I just want to come on here and tell you know, they're out there if you want to listen to them. They're all free, so you can all, you know, download them for free. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. This is kind of a weird video for me to do because I never really go on camera and talk to you guys like this. Thank you guys for watching this video. Leave a comment for any questions or suggestions. Please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.